Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a sort of different video than I normally film, but I wanted to make a video all about college application advice because I know it's getting towards August time when applications open, and I know last year when I was applying to college, I would have loved a video like this all about tips and tricks from someone who's just recently gone through the process. If you didn't know, I'm gonna be a freshman at University of Vermont in the fall, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want to hear all about that. I have some videos about college up already. Anyway, let's just get right into the video. So the first thing, and this is more for like freshmen maybe, or like sophomores and juniors in high school. How do I decide what college is I'm gonna apply to? Like there's so many and there's so many different options out there that I was just really overwhelmed. Here's what I did. Back in like freshman and sophomore year, I knew nothing about college. So every time I saw someone walking around wearing college merch like this, I would just like Google search the college, and those things that pop up on Google when you Google a college show like quick statistics and stuff about it, top majors, tuition, cost after aid, statistics like that, and pictures of the campus are super helpful. So I guess this is more of like if you have in-person school, which I did back then, but when all the seniors were committing, I would look at the t-shirts they were wearing like after decision day and like search them up. If you went to my school and you're a couple grades older than me, I 100% did that if I saw you wearing college merch. Anyway, that was really helpful, and it helped me like get an idea about like what different schools people could get into. And then later on in high school, like at the end of junior year, I would say, I started making a spreadsheet keeping track of colleges that I wanted to apply to and statistics like the amount of students, what city it was in, like how far away it was, acceptance rate, things like that. And I added colleges to that list based off of colleges I saw other people from my school committing to, older kids committing to, YouTube videos, honestly. Like if I saw a college vlogger, I would like look up the college they went to, and if that seemed like a good fit for me, I would add that to my list. I basically developed like a long list of schools that I might be interested in. Another thing that really helped me develop that list was this book, The Fisk Guide to Colleges. This was like my holy grail. It's like all dusty because I haven't looked at it in like a year. But it has all of the like higher ranked, but like basically most colleges in the US in it. Like look how thick it is, and don't be overwhelmed. This was so helpful because like for each one, like here, Baylor University, it has a blurb about Baylor, quote from students who go there, information like the strong programs, the admissions email address, the number of students that go to, whether it's private or public, the average amount of debt of students. Like this is so helpful, and they come out with a new thing every year. Not spawns, just a great book. So that also really helped me make a pretty long college list. And then another thing that's really helpful is most schools have Instagram pages for incoming freshmen where freshmen will send in a few pictures of themselves and like post a blurb about it, and that's like for incoming freshmen to make friends. But I was like a junior and a sophomore like stalking those pages for like the class of 23 and 24 so that I could see like what types of kids ended up going to some of the schools I was applying to. It's a really like great way, and then you can like look at their personal Instagrams. It's a little creepy, granted, but I thought it was helpful to put in here because I definitely did that. Okay, now we're moving on to the next section of this video, which is when you're starting to apply to schools and narrow down your list. My biggest piece of advice for this: to only actually apply to schools that you know you would go to if you got in, unless you're doing like early decision or something. But I treated every school I chose as if it was early decision, which is maybe not the healthiest. Like you don't want to waste your time and money applying to schools that you just are applying to because like, oh, like my cousin goes there. Like look into the schools, do your research, and know that you would be happy there if you ended up there. In that same way, like I don't really see like safety schools as like that great of a solution. Apply to schools that you would want to go to, and like yeah, put like Target and Reach, whatever, but don't apply to schools that you just wouldn't go to. That's a waste of everyone's time. You have to pay an application fee, so it's a waste of your money. Why do it? Another thing that I found helpful during I think like summer leading into my senior year and at the beginning of my senior year was the college essay guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he does a YouTube channel, a blog, webinars, all kinds of things about getting into college, writing your essays, supplements, picking a college, your list, financial aid, like anything you need. He has some resources for you. I especially like his email list and the blog and going to webinars. Those were the most helpful tools for me. Now I'm moving on to my next section of this video, which is all about essay writing tips. If you don't know, for college you have to write an essay, and if you apply using Common App, you can just write one big essay. I think think the limit is like 750 words or something. It's basically just your life story, like introducing yourself to the college in a way that's not just your scores and your grades. The essay is like, for me, like I don't test very well. I got an 1150 on my SAT. So the essay was where I was like, this is where I'm gonna shine. And so I wrote my essay about a freaking song. Like you can write it about anything. And there's prompts, but one of the prompts is also just like write about anything. So that's what I recommend. I actually remember with my essay, I had no idea what I was gonna write about. But then like one day, like actually like a couple days before the early action deadline, I just like got this idea. I sat down and started writing, and then 2 hours later I had like a perfect essay, and I just sent that to my schools. So don't underestimate the power of procrastinating. I'm just kidding, but it's true. You'll also, while you're applying to colleges, you'll find yourself writing a lot of emails to your guidance counselor, to teachers to ask for letters of recommendation and all of that stuff. My advice is to start a Google Doc and save every email you send, everything where you're talking about yourself, and put it in a Google Doc, because you will be able to go back and visit that. You'll be so glad I did this. When you're writing supplements for some schools, they have like really specific questions, like describe a time you took on a leadership role. And if you like wrote about your leadership role in a request for a letter of recommendation, you can just go back and use some of that. Like a lot of my supplements were like, I made it cohesive, but just like bits and pieces of emails and rec letters and everything that I've written. Brag sheets are a lot of writing, and then make sure you save your brag sheet writing, because I use so much of that into my supplements. And then once your essays are done, it's really tempting to like just keep making tiny tweaks and tiny edits to try to make it perfect. But at a certain point, you kind of have to slow down and just let it speak for itself, because I definitely fell into this trap with my main Common App essay. I wanted to like keep making little like edit, like add a comma here, like take out that sentence. You like have someone read it, but it is your writing and you wrote it. Like at a certain point, you just have to let it speak for itself. And then my last piece of advice is to make sure you are contacting your guidance counselor. For me, when I was applying to college, my school was completely online, so I had to write so many emails to her. I probably emailed her like 20 times throughout the whole process, and like no question is too small. They're there to help you. Like it's literally their job, and if any questions, they can answer it for you. And if you don't want to email them, you can DM me and I'll try to help. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, that's all the advice I have for you. I just wanted to make this little video because I feel like I could have used a lot of this advice, especially since I applied during fully online school. Hopefully this can help some of you out there. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.